Hey guys, since you've got them, I thought I might give you a quick little demo on how to modify your Hammershot. Um, so with the way they're currently shooting, they shoot about 55, 57 FPS. And what we're going to do to them is just take the air restrictors out um, and make them possibly, another 10, maybe 15, possibly even 20 FPS harder. That'll translate from being able to shoot, maybe 10 meters into about 15, possibly even 20. So that's pretty cool. The thing is with these ones though, they're not that popular in the modding community because you can overdo them very easily. So all we're going to do is take the air restrictors out. What you can also do is put a stopper in the spring, which is in the handle down the bottom. There are specially designed 3D printed stoppers for this, but of course you can engineer your own. You can do that if you're willing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave mine as it is and just take the air restrictors out and enjoy it like that. Let's get stuck into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is take all of the screws out. All right, lift it off. Okay, here are our internals. So the way the blaster works is that you cock this back here. It tightens its spring down the bottom. And when this locks into here, trigger locks into place in through a mechanism in there. The spring's down through here. Extra load comes through there. Plunger is through here. If we look down through there, yeah, there's the plunger. Nothing too special about that. When we release the trigger mechanism, the mechanism there releases the hammer. The hammer is sprung forward, pushes the plunger forward, in which forces air in through the darts and shoots them out of the chamber. I'm thinking about doing a little stop on that. I'm thinking about it. Maybe. We'll see how we go. And if you wanted to paint it as well, now's the right time to paint it. You take all the internals out, you paint them. And some of the bits, like this bit, will just kind of come off and you can paint that nice and cruisy. I might just paint this pink so I know that it's mine and not yours. Be careful of these though. These are the rail attachment holders. If you lose that and if you lose this spring here, yeah, you're in big trouble because this bad boy doesn't float by himself. He needs that spring to push up. So don't lose that. Be really careful of that. Put that somewhere safe. What other bits come off? This whole assembly will come off as well if you push and prod hard enough. Will it do it? Oh, I've got the... Yeah. So on this one, if you want, you can take this all apart. You can paint different components. Please don't paint it all black. Please don't paint it into anything that will look like an actual firearm because that's how we get neighbors calling police and that sort of stuff. Don't do that. Okay, so I'll take this out. What you can do is you can order barrels that hold 6 and even 7 darts. At a shop called Blaster Tech, you can buy those. I don't think we need to drill those out. They look all right. If we have a look at the plunger here, if I can take the plunger tube out, secured in there somehow. Let's take the whole blaster out. Okay, so that's the blaster. This is it. This is the Hammershot. And you can hear it. I don't know. That's the air restrictor in there. And actually, you can see it, that black bit there. That's all inside here. That's what we have to remove. But this little, if we remove it, we've got to be careful about this thing. It's not necessary to have that. That just makes a little click as you slide the barrels through. So this is the bit we're going to remove. I'm going to take the spring out so I can pull the plunger all the way back. I'd like to be able to do this without taking any screws out. That'll be the real win.
11 minutes later.
Alright, I changed my mind. We're going to take these screws out. Okay, and we should be able to just move the trigger assembly out. Alright, that was a lot easier. We'll just do that. We'll just do that in the future. I'm not going to move any of this because I don't want to ruin the spring placement. I don't want to make a hassle for myself. And so if we look down our barrel here, yeah, we have is the plastic bit there. That's what we want to remove. We want to get that out. The best tool for this is long nose pliers. I'll try and get that. You could melt it out with a soldering iron. What I'm going to do, or you could drill it out. You could put a drill down in through there. You could drill it out. What I'm actually going to do is circumnavigate this whole process. I'm just going to drill this whole bit out here. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that whole thing. Uh-oh, spring just came out there. I don't know where that came from. It goes back there. Okay, easy. Cool. Oops. I didn't want that to happen. But now that's happened, I'll take that off as well because now I know where that goes. Oh no, it wants to stay there. Alright, you can stay. I've just grabbed any drill bit, anything that's going to fit in there. That's going to fit, and that's going to do it quite nicely. Alright, I'm just going to drill it straight through. Try not to nick the seal. That's, yeah, you don't want to do that. Not too much anyway. Make sure there's still something left when you're done with it. Okay, so there it is, I'm in. Just going to clean it out. I might as well just drill through that whole thing. Let's get rid of it all. Really careful not to drill in your hand, please. Alright. Okay. That's the air restrictor. I've taken it out. It's garbage. You can throw that away. Inside it's greased, so be careful about how many fingers and stuff you put inside there. Right, there we go. Didn't have the patience, so just drilled it out. And that's what's left. A clear plunging tube. I've managed to retain most of the seal at the front. And I might run the plunger just through just to clean it out a bit. Yep, all still works, that's good. And so now when you shoot it, you get a nice big crack instead of a Okay, let's put the trigger assembly back together. Let's put the springs back in place. Here we go, trigger assembly. And one part goes on that. Lovely. That doesn't work, so it must be... No, that's not going to work. Does it go upside down? How far is that in there? It'll make sense once I put the rest of the guard on. Does that make sense once it's in there? I'll put the rest of them together. Okay. Plunger, hammer. Okay, we're back and hopefully with a better view. So I was having a bit of trouble getting my trigger mechanism back together because I couldn't get it all to work properly, but I figured out the issue. The issue was originally I thought that the trigger was supposed to be pushing it back this way, but in actual fact it should be pushing back that way. I guess that makes sense. If you use like logic and common sense, but I'm not really that prone to that sort of gear. So we want the trigger to be kicking back that way. There we go, and now it has it locking in there. This piece as well is it's a bit fiddly. Yeah, springs are always a bit fiddly, but yeah, you'll figure them out. Just, yeah, I guess it's really helpful to know that when you're doing this bit, you're not going to break your blaster. There's nothing to break. There's nothing to ruin. We're just putting it back together. We've already done the ruining. So the way it works is that when this comes back down, yeah, that looks right. All of those components should all move as once. This bit is annoying. It doesn't always go through the end. So they should all move at once. There you go. Alright, so that's how we know the trigger is working. It's good. We can put the trigger mechanism back together. Okay, now when it comes to actually upgrading your Hammershot and what you can and can't do, there aren't actually stronger springs that exist for this blaster. You can put some stuff in here, and I think I said at the beginning of the video that I wouldn't do it, but I might do it. I might just see if I have any washers that could go there, go around that mechanism. Just got to make something fit which isn't going to impinge on the rest of the blaster. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the end off a Nerf dart and actually use that. Over time it will soften and squish, but that's actually a really good idea. So I'm going to grab a real trashy Nerf dart that I have. It goes on a lot easier, doesn't it? What if I try one of these? Yeah, okay, alright, well, we'll try this one. Let's try that much. Yeah, that goes on quite easy. Oh, did I just break something? Nope, okay, sweet. Alright, that looks pretty good. Where's the spring gone? There it is. Okay, there's a fair... Yeah, that's what I want. So I want it bunching up at the end. So if I can do that, yeah. That's what I want. Nice. I could probably actually afford to put more of the Nerf dart on there. Got a couple extra mils there. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna put more of it on. It's working a lot better than I thought it would. Okay, sweet. Bunch it all up at the end. I don't know how long this will last. Neither do I care. Okay, sweet. Well, it looks like it's going to have a fair bit of tensile strength in it. Springs like this don't lose their springiness, as you might think. I still wouldn't say you could. You know, it's okay to store your Nerf guns loaded. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't leave my magazines in my darts, but sorry, my darts in my magazines, but it's okay to leave it a gun like this. So I've got an extra couple mils there. That probably looks about 5 mil out of the spring, so that will give it a bit of extra oomph. We could probably expect another 10 or 15 FPS out from that. All right, well, I'll put the whole thing back together, and we'll see. It's going to make a big bang when we shoot it, but we'll see what it's like. So this bit sits over the top of the grey bit in there. I'll flip it around so you can see it as I put it in. I'll put it in upside down. So I'm going to sit that on top of there. And this bit goes into that. Oh no, actually it has a little hole for it. Derp, 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 Evan. Alright. Which way I'm going to put it in? Yeah, that way looks good. And so it should rotate everything. Yeah, sweet. And that's going to fire. I won't dry fire it. There we go. And everything rotates, which is right. Awesome. So we know the blaster's working. We can put it back together for a test. Don't forget about your spring. This spring for your thingamajig. Now what I did was left all my screws in place for the shell, so, oh yeah, well, I was about to forget it, wasn't I? So I don't actually need to put any screws back. Oh, so what I realized is I actually forgot the pink bit that goes in here. I'll go get that. Okay, I got it. Here's my little bit that goes in there. It's very cute. Maybe one day I'll finish painting the blaster pink. Maybe I won't. It's the Lord's will. I don't really care about the blaster. This bit goes on top, the ridged bit. Like that, yeah. The ridged bit on top, of course. And it's pink, so now I know which one's mine. I think everything's done. Nothing rattles, nothing shakes. Oh, okay, I'm getting one little shake. That's alright. Okay, so if we don't dry fire it. Okay, alright, so there's significant improvement in that. Alright, so I'll just dry fire it once, where before we're getting a poof, or you're getting a poof, now we're getting a... Alright, so quite solid bang. What we've done is we've taken out the safety features of the internals, which means that when we dry fire them, or one day, you know, we shoot it one too many times, all things expire as they do. Well, at least material things do. The gun will break, the internals will crack, and you'll no longer be able to use it. And so if you don't want a gun that has an expiration date on it, then don't modify it. That being said, you know, they go for years. So we'll just run it through the chrono barrel. Like I said before, when I tested it stock on these darts, yeah, I was getting about 50, 58 on the chrono barrel. Put it through this again. Okay, so test firing it. So test firing the new and improved Hammershot. I got, yeah, because it's hard to light with a chrono barrel. I did quite a few shots, but most of them were in the high 60s. I got a couple in the 70s as well. So we've increased the FPS of the Hammershot by at least 10 FPS, which is really cool. And the advantage, sorry, not the advantage, the win from that is we go from being able to shoot, yeah, about maybe 10 meters to going to that 15 and even 20, which is really great. It's really awesome. That's about as much as I'd want to do with something like this. That's, you know, it's a great little pistol, but that's probably about all that we can do with it. One thing that I did notice, which was very interesting, was that my usual blue darts versus my green darts, because these are new and they're quite firm, they shot really well, and so I got more FPS out of these than I did out of these. Maybe because these are a bit weaker. They've, you know, they've been in magazines. They've been shot through, you know, flywheels that squish them. So that's quite interesting to note. And so using your darts, ones that you should be able to feel the difference. They go in, you know, with a bit of resistance versus ones that just kind of fall in. There's less room for the air to escape around these fatter darts than for these ones. If you push these ones in, you should still get a good seal, but yeah, it's not quite the same. Especially if I push that in, you can definitely feel that there's a bit of resistance at the end. But of course, when it comes to using this pistol, you can use it with any sort of darts, the suction darts, the whistle head darts, and so you're not really restricted to using the waffle head. Overall, I'm very happy with, I guess, the mods that I did on the Hammershot. It is a great little handy pistol to have, and kind of in its stock form, it's okay, but just doing those simple mods make it a bit better. If you want, you could drill out these bits in here. I don't know what would come of that though, because obviously when you get to the end of the little bit there, it stops the dart from going any further. I don't know if you want to drill that out. It would mean that there's more air getting to the dart, but I'd hate for it to get caught on the inside somewhere and not be able to function properly. Like I said before, the more you do to them, the more they don't like you. So that's probably about it. Well, cool. Thanks, guys. Well, if you do mod it, yeah, keen to see what you do. Sorry, keen to see what you do with it. Yeah, keen to see how you individualize it. Yeah, and bring it along to the next war. Thanks, team.